Good morning.
Good morning.
It's like summertime out there today, isn't it? All right, in comparison, it feels really much better than it did yesterday. But hang on, because it's going to get cold.
Yes, it is.
So, so we're going to try something new today. We're going to tape from up front, and we have some video equipment, and after we tape it, Caleb's going to take it back, and we're going to edit it, with hopefully putting myself in a smaller picture-in-picture, and have the slide bigger in the presentation, so as I'm talking or others are presenting, you'll see the slide as we're talking. So we haven't really been able to get there over the last year. We would tape it, and then you really couldn't see the presentation, so, or really see me. So we're going to try a little bit different. We'll see how it comes out. When you if you happen to rewatch this, it should be a lot better. So I got an action-packed agenda today. Getting out of the gate strong with a lot of information. So let's jump right in. And because we are taping, I've been instructed to try and hang around here as much as possible and not sort of wander out into the front of the screen or anything. So we're going to do our best to see how this works out. So if you're joining us from home, welcome. Happy belated New Year. I don't know. Can you still say that at this time?
Sure.
Are you still allowed to say that? I should probably do an AI, put that through AI and see what they feel about that. But is this anyone's first town hall? Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to review today. Just a quick review of the Vista launch, which took place last week. Vista 360, our new brand, logo, signature items, and then I'm going to dive into the resident satisfaction survey, walk through the results with you, talk about some of the themes that we're hearing. Quick sales update for January. Zoran's going to come up and present some dining updates for you. Going to talk a little bit about Winter Storm Fern. It does have a name. And then some brief community updates, and then we'll have a little bit of time for questions. So, did everyone, well, I don't know if everybody attended the dinner last Friday, but hopefully you got a chance to attend. Did you enjoy the dinner? Yeah, very good. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Our dining team, culinary team have received a lot of positive feedback, not only about the food, but also the service and how well it was executed. So, first of all, thank you for joining us last week. It really was an exciting week for us. I sense your enthusiasm, a lot of curiosity about what is going on and with the booths, with the different events. There was certainly a great spirit here last week. And I think personally that's what makes Tide Point such a great community. So thank you. Keeps going in and out. Yeah, don't move, Mike.
That's right.
So, but at the end of the day, at the end of the week, as I was reflecting, it did bring to mind that, you know, as a community and as residents that live here, that learning never stops for you. You know, it's all about, you know, moving forward, learning, staying active. The age has no limit, so that's awesome to witness and see, and this is just a different perspective from myself looking at it. But also, if you live here, there's lots of opportunities, very rich opportunities, not only today, but moving forward is even going to get better. So excited about that. Just a real quick, I consolidated everything that I talked about in the initial slide presentation into one slide. And here it is. So you may remember that we talked about the 3 pillars, empower, elevate, and enliven, which is the foundation of this Living Well Reimagined. And then out of that came our new brand, Vista 360 Wellbeing. And I did talk about, you know, the color of this new brand label, what the 360 Wellbeing meant for us, and then also the rays, the V's, which are also signify rays of sunshine. And then the signature experiences, which in the top right-hand corner of the slide is the Vista Explore, which is travel and tourism. We partner with Orbridge Travel. Hopefully some of you have had a chance, well, many of you attended the presentation. hopefully if you didn't attend the presentation, you had a chance to take a look at some of the pamphlets. And I was talking to my boss, Stephen Fowler, yesterday, and he shared that there's approximately 15 folks already signed up for these trips. So that's pretty exciting to see. Some folks are jumping right in, some of the other folks in the community. Has anyone here signed up for any of the trips? No? Not yet. And then we talked about Vista Enrich, which is brain vitality. We saw that in a few different ways, right? We had the Maggie Moon book that was out there. You saw that on your menus all week. The chef was featuring some brain healthy foods, which is pretty neat. We had a presentation about the new piece of equipment that we're going to have in the fitness center and how that connects folks, helps stay sharp cognitively. Hand-eye coordination, hand-foot coordination. As a matter of fact, a machine very similar to that is used for professional athletes to help them stay sharp. But you can use it on all different levels. So that is expected to arrive later in February. Once we get that set up, we'll notify you. And then Vista Discover, which is the experiential learning component. We had the charcuterie making and honey tasting. We had the olive oil tasting, which was just fantastic. And if you didn't make that one, they wrapped up with a bowl of ice cream, vanilla ice cream, with a blood orange olive oil, blood orange infused olive oil, and chocolate balsamic, which was just amazing. So reminded me of a creamsicle. Yeah. So, but if you really think about, that presentation, olive oil is very healthy. It's very healthy for your brain. There's certain oils that you could buy for your brain to help out with your brain and maintain brain vitality. So it was all interconnected, and there was a lot of thought that went into our presentations. So more to come. So Joy and Zoran and Chef and the greater team is working on, continues to work on experiences for you, how we're going to elevate experiences for you moving forward. So you're going to see that on the calendars as they come out, and I know that the team is really excited to be delivering these. So I'm going to transition into the resident satisfaction survey. I did give a little bit of a, I don't know why this keeps going in and out. I did give a little snapshot late last year, and then at that time did promise that I was going to have a deeper dive into that. So today we're going to do a deeper dive. And just reflecting back when we were doing the survey, I had this same slide up. It's an annual process that takes place with B Senior Living, that's sponsored by B Senior Living, where we actually do, it's a confidential survey for all the members here. It's available, it was available for you to complete online. All the participation is confidential. All the verbatims that you shared with us are confidential, but it's also a part of our ongoing effort to deliver great resident experiences for you. So this is a snapshot of the overall, what they call the engagement score, which is a culmination of all these scores together, and then our response rate. So our engagement score was an overall 78, and when you break that down, you can see that we had 78% positive responses, which were 4s and 5s on the survey. We had 15% that were neutral, which was the 3. And then we had some folks that shared that we have opportunities, and we characterize that as negative, and that is a 1 or a 2 on your survey. Overall, it was 78. It was very close to where we were last year. Last year, I think we were right around 80. So, and then the response rate was very strong, 91%. 234 members out of 257 took the survey, which was just amazing. So the next slide here is a snapshot of key categories. And you can see there's bars left to right. There's a dark blue bar, and then there's a lighter purple bar. The dark blue bar is the Tide Point, our community. The lighter purple bar is V overall, every community's results rolled up. So we're benchmarked against V here, and you can see in the county accuracy, then the horizontal line that goes, the vertical line that goes up and down, the dotted line, is really the benchmark. where you want to be. You want to be at least at that benchmark. That's the goal for us. So counting accuracy, 83 versus a 89, which was very strong. Took a little bit of a dip from last year, and we think that might have been related to the point of sale rollout. Some of the challenges that we've experienced around the point of sale rollout. But Sally's commitment, her team's commitment is to really drive more consistency in 2026. Dining, we came in at a 67 versus overall V Senior Living at a 62. You can see it's below the benchmark where we want to be, and we'll talk a little bit more about dining in just a few minutes when we get into some of the details. Our housekeeping department, right at above the benchmark, and right at where the overall company is. Lifestyle activities came in at 84, and Joy just knocked it out of the park. She was nonstop this year. Austin as well. I don't know if Austin's here. Our culinary dining team partnering with her just to really drive strong results, well above the Senior Living 76, and then maintenance above the benchmark, close to the Senior Living overall. Their score was 84 versus 88. And then our management team here came in at an 82 versus the Senior Living of an 81. And then transportation options, 77, which was much stronger than the Senior Living. And then the services I received in the Wellness Center was 76, right, really at the benchmark we look for, but just below the Senior Living scores. So overall, most of our scores, I would say 75% of our scores were at least or better than the Senior Living overall. There's some opportunities that were identified that we'll need to work on. So what we do when we get the survey results is we dissect it in many different ways by department, but also we take a look at the verbatims. And then out of those verbatims, we identify themes and really areas that we're doing well and areas that we want to focus on. So I want to share, before I go into some of the details, some of the themes that were coming through in the verbatims, which is the comments that you make. So folks were sharing, the best thing about living here at Tide Point is you all. The connections, the relationships that you have with everyone here, the sense of community, the feeling like this feels like home for you. Then the staff, and this isn't in any specific order, these were just, as I was going through, pulling the themes out. Connections with staff, we have a very tenured staff, the relationships that you have with staff. Programs and activities, you reflected that on the previous, the activities survey where I said Joy really knocked it out of the park. Programs and activities, you really enjoyed that. And then the food, so that's a large component. Can we see if we can get a hold of Caleb?
I think it might be the batteries.
Okay.
I just happen to have something.
How did she know? We're going to pause here for a station break. Yeah. Thank you, Joy. And then you love the food, for the most part. And then, because the other side of the story is that although many folks enjoy the food and the dining experience, you also share that there's opportunities with dining, the culinary program, both the front of the house for the dining rooms and in the kitchen as well. So, but the main theme that came out of that was consistency. Because there's a lot of positive things about our dining experience, but consistency is needed. So that could be consistency with food, service, temperatures, variety. There's a lot of areas that you shared your thoughts on. And then another theme that I saw, and I think under safety, I think the question was, do you feel safe here at Tide Point? Under that question alone, I think we had about 115 responses, written in responses for that. And it was, there was an overwhelming response that around cameras. So technology supporting safety and security is really just a term for we would like to have some cameras. But I put technology in there because that is going to be tied to one of the board goals this year. They're going to be focusing on overall community and technology and use of technology in the community. So there were some themes around, geez, it would be nice to have some cameras in and around the elevators, down in the parking garages. It would be nice to see some locked doors with badge access or some type of access. So at night, if you do go out, you would have to get in with a badge, but other folks just can't come in at night. I will say that our doors, our stairwell doors in the villas are locked at night. Our security team locks them. But still, there was an overwhelming majority of you felt that we needed to have some additional systems in here for safety and security. Now, there were some other thoughts that many folks said that they feel safe here. I mean, the score was I think, 90%. So the score was very strong in terms of safety, but there were some thoughts that it would be nice to have some cameras and some additional measures for security here. And then the third theme was communication. So a lot of positive comments about what we're doing well. Town halls, mingles, minutes from our board meetings and committee meetings, the way that we did dining talk and different department updates throughout the year. But then there was some additional comments that some of the information that is shared here or shared with our cabinet doesn't necessarily filter down into the greater team. So we'll work on that as a leadership team, as a management team, and then we will continue to do what we have been doing in the past with the mingle of the town halls. We'll weave some dining talks in throughout the year. And if we feel there's other opportunities, that there's more needed, then certainly we can shift and make that happen as well. So we're going to jump into the questions. It's about 5 slides, and we'll dig into that a little bit. And I break it down into, for each question, there's a positive rating, there's a neutral, and a negative. The positive rating comes out of, if you rated a 4 or 5 in that question, it rolls into the positive category. If you rated it a 3, it was neutral, so you're sort of on the fence. And then if you rated it a 1 or a 2, it falls into the negative category. So some of this I'm going to move fairly quickly on. So the first question, overall, how would you rate the staff? Well, overall, you really love the staff. There wasn't a lot of comments about any negative comments about the staff, so to speak. There was some comments about opportunities with the staff, but not negative comments. So, and then, would you recommend our facility, Tide Point, to a friend or family? And this is really a key one that I think for me and for Deanie. I mean, 88%, almost 90%, which is very strong as well. And then we get into the food. So this was an overall rating of the food, which came in at a 53%. We had a lot of folks that rated us in the middle category, the 3 rating. So I don't know if it was a wait to see if we get better, or you had a bad experience and dropped it right down to a 3. That's an area that along with the dining committee, we're going to dig into a little bit more. But this one does have me somewhat confused, as do some of the other dining questions. And I'll share my reasoning around that as we get into some of the other questions. And as we move forward, though, with the dining experience, culinary in front of the house, I think this is going to be a focus area to better understand why we had so many neutrals. There's a safety question. This falls under the management bucket of questions, 94%. So even though that we did have a lot of comments, 115 overall comments in that bucket, many of them related to cameras and additional technology for security, most residents feel safe. So, which is really where we want to be. Saw some questions around the fence line. No surprise there. I'll share an update on that. Not a lot of an update, but I'll share an update on that. And then management, the next question, are we responsive to your questions and concerns when a problem arises? And we came in at 83, which is right around where we were last year, which is right around the B overall score as well. So this is a continuous focus area for us. It's not only our cabinet, but it's our supervisors, it's our frontline managers that have to, we just need to be better at this. Tide Point feels like home. So I had one comment in there, Tide Point feels like home, but not really. So, I mean, what I get out of that one is that it's just not, you know, you live in a house for 50 years. You know, that's, you know, you live in a neighborhood, you know, so community living is different. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But, so we recognize that, and we do our best to try to put in programs and support you in the best way that we can. But for some folks, it's just not like home. You know, so, but our goal is to do our best to try and get it there. So I know Carrie and her team will continue to work on that. And then I'm satisfied with the value I received for what I pay, value for price paid. So 72 is right around where we were last year. But we do have more neutrals this year than we did last year. Moving into dining. So you saw on the main page, the first page, it was overall, how would you rate the food? Now we drill down a little bit into some of the other dining questions. First one being, I am satisfied with the variety. So we're talking about variety here. And we came in at a 68%. I do not have this benchmark versus last year, but it is lower than last year. And once again, we have a lot in the neutral bucket. Second question, I'm satisfied with the quality and consistency, 66%, once again, quite a few folks in the neutral, and even negative bucket here. And then this, over the last year, positive progress has been made related to dining in the community. So what this tells me is that we're making progress as related to last year, which is good. Which is what we want to see, but that we gotta dig in a little bit more to have better results. So what confuses me, and I'm gonna hang here just for a minute and not go too deep on this one, is that I sit on the dining committee. We get a lot of comment cards back from members on a daily basis, and we have some folks on the dining committee, Mr. Niner specifically, that takes them, tallies them, puts them into a worksheet for us. And then we graph them out, and then we digest them a little bit. The average of positive to negative comments is probably about 7 to 1. So 7 out of 8. So if you took a percentage of that, it's over 80%, maybe close to 85%. Percent favorable responses, positive responses from members as you fill out the comment cards. Yeah, but it's not reflective in the annual survey. So as we were talking through this, it's possible that some of the folks that may not agree with the food program or what's going on with the program, maybe I could use that mic there.
You can move closer to your
So some of the responses that we're seeing in the dining committee are different than the responses that we're seeing in the survey. There's a significant difference in the ratings. So our goal this year would be, how do we bridge that gap? How do we pull more folks in that might not be happy with the food, or the ones that are in the neutral bucket, so we can get some good data, and the chef and Zora and the team can really dig in a little bit deeper in terms of what needs to be fixed. Or maybe it's clarity in terms of how we're rating. You know, if you're rating a 4 or 5, what does that mean versus a 3? Is a 3 really a good experience, but you had a hiccup in terms of something was overcooked or undercooked or whatever it was? I don't know. I'm just talking out loud now. This is Michael's world sometimes I get into, but we're going to dig into that a little bit more and try to figure that out. But there is somewhat of a disconnect between what we're seeing through our dining committee and what we're seeing on the annual survey. Personally, we're seeing over 80% through the dining committee, and these are in the 60s. So our goal would be to achieve 80%. So we're going to dig into that a little bit more. And then there's a couple other dining questions that fell into this other bucket, other questions. One of them was about the reservation system. And as you can remember, or many of you may remember, last year we implemented the point of sale system. That was in January, February. Then we rolled into the reservation system, and then we rolled into the to-go orders. So there was a lot that took place, a lot of changes, and the biggest one being reservations. So a lot of folks in the neutral bucket, and I think this is where Zoran and his team have an opportunity, if they do a dining talk or something like that, to figure out more, get more feedback, because that's not a specific question on our survey. So we're always open to what does this all mean for you, and how do we improve that experience? And then once again, food and beverage is moving in the right direction with the inclusion of fast casual. So that was at 83%. So this is another, what I feel is somewhat of a disconnect, because here we're saying that there is good variety, but on the variety question, it came in at a low 60 or something, it was right around there. So there's a gap between the two surveys that we got to figure out. All right, then we had additional services. The first one was maintenance. That came in at 84, so I'm not going to go through each positive, neutral, negative on these, but then the Wellness Center came in at a 76, so that was much higher than it was last year. Still quite a few folks in the 20% category. Some of the comments that I see in this bucket here are, can we get some services on the weekend? Can we get some wellness services on the weekend? So I think, that's an area that Carrie and Sherry are going to have to really dig into to see how we work that out. But it's a continual theme that I see. The thing is when talking with Carrie and our managers on duties who are here on the weekend, there's not a lot of questions or concerns that come up on the weekend that would require wellness to be here. So maybe there's another way that we approach it. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's, we'll have to take a look at that and see. I already shared about the accounting when I first rolled out of the gate here with the results. That was at 83. I think some of that drop was year over year was related to the point of sale, and then I am satisfied with housekeeping. Rhonda year over year was flat, and then she was also consistent with B overall. And then we had the additional services, lifestyle and activities. Joy's team came in at 86%, very strong. The schedule of lifestyle activities worked for me. That was also very strong at 81. Or I feel empowered to make changes. So one of our pillars this year is empowerment. So I think that's where we have opportunities to talk about what does this question mean to you? How can we improve activities and events here? What is it that you want to see? We can talk about that in the lifestyle committees. And then transportation options increased significantly as well, up to a 77%. So that was a strong score for us compared to last year and compared to V overall. Then we had some additional questions. And this was the core of them. I feel my community provides me with ample opportunities for socialization, family interaction, and access to a variety of events. So that was overwhelmingly strong at 90%. For those folks that are neutral, there could be some new folks that might not have gotten acclimated yet, or it could be some folks that would like to see other activities. For the folks that are in those buckets, certainly we would love to hear your thoughts. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would still make the decision to live in my community. So that was at 86, which is a very strong score as well. I do feel, based on some of the verbatims that I read, that some of the changes to hurricane evacuation impacted some members' thoughts, particularly long-time members here, in terms of how we're evacuating per diem versus going on the bus with us. So I think that was somewhat reflected there. And then the last question, I truly feel comfortable in my community. It's a safe and welcoming environment where I'm surrounded by people I enjoy, and I have the freedom to live life on my own terms, doing what I want, when I want, and how I want. So that was overwhelmingly strong at 91%. So you can do as much as you like, or as little as you like, right? Or anything in between. So that is a wrap-up of the results, front to back, the breakdown. Our team has an action plan in place already. As we go through the year, we'll talk a little bit more about that and how we're addressing it. We'll be working with the committees, the committee chairs, and the board to address these issues as well. We appreciate feedback. 91% participation, very strong. I think we were number 3 in the company for participation, and I think we might have been 3 or 4 in the company for overall engagement results. So very strong. We have an action plan in place. We're committed to continuing to enhance your experience. I think with Living Well Reimagined, it's going to even be better this year. It's a lot. It's a heavy lift for our team, but we're all committed to making positive changes with these events that elevate your experiences. So stay tuned as we implement them. We're excited about it. I hope you'll find that as we roll some of this out that you're going to be excited as well. And keep the feedback coming because it's very helpful. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to roll out of the resident satisfaction, shift into sales. I'm going to share the sales update today for this January. Truly, Deanie's here with us. If you have any questions, she can come up and answer them. But as we enter the new year, Deanie has 6 active listings, 3 Cape Hatteras, 2 Cape Charles, and 1 Oak Island. There's no closing scheduled for January. However, there are 2 closings scheduled for February. So Zorn, I'm going to invite you up. If you'd like to share about the dining updates.
Good morning.
I hope everybody can hear me. Thank you for being here. I'm excited to be here once again for our town hall. And yeah, it's a beginning of the year, and it was an exciting year behind us. So as Michael had mentioned already, a couple of major changes and major things have happened throughout the year. Of course, the main thing was the implementation of the POS system and everything that came with that. And we all, as a community, both our residents and our staff team, went through all these changes and put an effort to make it happen. And I really appreciate the efforts on our residents and as well as the efforts the team put into making that happen. The way that community has accepted the POS and both reservation system as well as the online ordering, it's quite impressive and pretty amazing, and we are excited about it. And again, a huge thank you to all of you for embracing these changes and working with us. And as we move forward, we're going to continue to hopefully yield even more benefits of these technologies that are presented to us. Along with that, a lot of other things have happened. Again, one of the major things was fast casual, introduction of the fast casual as a dining option, which we rolled out in kind of middle of the summer, end of July, beginning of August. And there was a lot of unknown with the whole idea, but I think it turned out to be a well-received option and as a dining option, and I believe the experiences have been great. I feel like we already have a sort of a following over there in the club room, and that's pretty exciting. Another couple of things that we did that we're going to continue to work on, we brought back the monthly themed buffets. So we worked with the dining committee as well as broader residents to identify what we can do, and that was one of the things that kept coming back through the surveys and overall listening to you. So we brought that back. Sunday brunches have become a routine, buffet events. So a lot of positive things, a lot of new things have happened, and that brought us to January and to launch of our Vista 360. So what that means for us is we're just going to continue to focus on sort of that holistic approach to the well-being of our residents, and continue to rely on these three pillars that are identified through the rebranding. So continue to elevate your experiences, continue to empower you to manipulate through everyday living in a Type Point, and create your own way. So we are going to be here to support that, to personalize approach to every single day for every single one of you. And so we're going to heavily focus on those pillars that are identified and established through our Living Well Reimagined. As we speak of that, what is bringing us to this slide and things that we are going to continue to work on, and some other changes that we're looking to implement moving forward. And we talked about this throughout the year, and we're getting closer and closer to making this idea actually come to fruition and to implement this change. And that's a slight change to our menu approach. So far, as you all know, we had always available menu, and then we had daily selections. We will continue to provide same approach to our dining experience as we have so far, in a way of offerings where you will have that freedom and opportunity to select items and sort of create your own meal. However, it won't be daily selection. We're going to change it to a weekly selection. And so we will have a menu that will roll out every week, and you will see the menu, and it will be the same menu for the whole week, but it will offer more options. As it says over here, Monday through Saturday, each week will offer 6 thoughtfully prepared entree choices. So what that means, we want to provide sort of that more of a restaurant-style menu and restaurant-style approach. But again, we want to make sure that we provide variety. So changing to a weekly menu will provide opportunity for us as a dining and culinary team to secure quality and consistency in production and delivery of those meals for you. So rather than changing every day the choices that we're offering, having the focus and preparing the same meals throughout a week will give us opportunity, like I said, to secure the quality and consistency that keeps coming back. Consistency is and was our word of the year for 2025. A lot has been accomplished, but we want to continue focusing on consistency in 2026 as well. So looking ahead, as part of this change and the process, obviously, a lot of you are quite aware that we have quite a aging layout and equipment in our kitchen, and those are some opportunities that we're looking to address shortly. And we already have some plans in place. We have some drafts and ideas, and we're working with some outside vendors who are willing to provide what we're looking for. And obviously, as you can see here, the main focus will be the service line, so where the food is actually being finished and expedited and going on to plates. coming out to the dining area. So we are working on that part of the kitchen, and rearranging a little bit, adding some additional refrigeration and overall realignment of the line, adding some heating lamps and just overall efficiency of that service area. So that's pretty exciting. We had a outside vendor come out last year, towards the end of the year, to just give us an overall idea of what is possible, what is not possible with our current layout, to provide us with a quote that was shared with the corporate that has been approved, and now we're looking to take the next steps and move forward with those upgrades and changes in our kitchen. So that's pretty exciting news. And like I said, with the Living Well Reimagined, with the Vista 360, we will continue to stay focused on your experience and the holistic approach for the well-being of our residents. And us as a dining team and a culinary team being a little small screw in that machine that makes that happen, we are excited to do our part. So thank you all.
Thank you, Zoran. Some pretty exciting stuff. Caleb's got me truly mic'd up now. It's like halftime over there. He's got me adjusted, ready for the second half. So the exciting for me, the exciting component that Zoran has shared is one, not only the weekly menu, because I think that helps our team from an efficiency standpoint in the back of the house for production, and then they're able to focus on more of the details in terms of execution. So, but coupled with that is the new kitchen equipment. If you think back into 2025, we were sharing fast casual, and we were sharing composed plates. Eventually in the Magnolia, we really can't get to that composed plate until Chef Jessica has more tools to work with. So there were steam table with heat lamps and refrigeration, so the team can do more a la menu cooking, which has been somewhat of a challenge for her. So excited about what's coming for our dining program this year. So we're gonna do a flashback. That was last year, same day, this day last year. That we got about 4 inches of snow, and that ice storm, which was so much fun. But we got some beautiful pictures out of it. So, 1 year ago today is when that winter storm rolled in, and we were frozen in, the roads were all iced up. I think somebody got a picture of somebody skiing down the bridge, because that's what they were doing out there. But that was sort of a setup, because it lets me roll right into Winter Storm Fern, and which is a huge storm coming across the country. But fortunately for us, we are on the southeastern edge of the storm, so we're not really expecting a lot of impact. But this storm is rolling across and it's going to really hit hard from the Carolinas up with a lot of snow. I'm seeing anywhere from 2 to 3 foot in some places. It's going to be huge. There's going to be widespread participation, freezing rain in a lot of areas. But like I mentioned, I don't think we're going to get much of that. So I get these updates every day. This is from our local. Charleston Weather is really where this comes from. It's a hub for weather in the area, but I get it from our emergency services folks here on the island. So there continues to be high uncertainty with the temperature and precipitation, but they do expect really cold weather, which is going to arrive early next week, and there'll likely be advisories Monday into Tuesday morning. That's the storm, which covers pretty much half the United States. The darker red is the more intense area of the storm. You can see us down here. South Carolina, Georgia tip, we're right in that 5% range, 5% chance of getting a whole lot of anything, which is really going to be freezing rain. So very, very small chance of us getting any huge impact out of this storm. And then this is a more of a detailed look at the drill down for South Carolina and northeastern Georgia. So the darker shade is more inland, Walterboro and more inland. The medium blue shade is right around the middle of, it's a Highway 17 corridor. And then the lighter blue is us, which is the immediate South Carolina coast, which is south of I-16. They're saying freezing rain is highly unlikely. I don't know if I can get that, my pointer's not working. Freezing rain, highly unlikely, less than 10% chance of any ice accumulation. And if we do have any, it's going to be less, about 1/10 of an inch or less. So let's keep our fingers crossed for no ice down this way. I will be sending an alert media out later today as a reminder. As we get in through the weekend and into Sunday night, Monday night, the temperatures are really going to drop. So if you have any outdoor faucets and you need assistance with wrapping them, let our maintenance team know. They will be able to get a work order generated for that, be able to come out and get everything wrapped up for you. So we want to try to minimize any frozen pipes. It's always a recommendation to open up any cabinets in your home just to allow the heat to get in around the pipes. So hopefully this thing will come and go as quickly as it comes, and we will see no impact. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to the weather station on that. If weather does get really severe, we're really concerned. Additional alert media messages will come out in terms of what we are concerned about and how we can help, how you all can help mitigate those situations. Winter Storm Fern. And lastly, I'd like to just share some community updates. This is just a sort of a roll-up of some thoughts that I had for community updates. So I've been talking about the merger. There's really not a whole lot new with the merger, other than I did get a date when the Life Care Services CEO and corporate executive team are going to be visiting here at Tide Point. And that is going to be in mid-February. It looks like it's going to be February 11th. So I'm still waiting on the agenda. So the CEO from Life Care Services, as well as Gary Smith, our CEO, and a couple members of our executive cabinet will be visiting the community. They will tour the community, they'll meet with the cabinet, they'll meet with the board. And I don't know if they're going to have lunch here or not, because it is a fly-in the day before, come visit the community, and then fly back out to either Iowa, I think they're in Iowa, and then Chicago. So it's going to be a pretty quick visit. They just want to see the community. I would imagine after the merger takes place that folks will be back out for longer visits. But in terms of the merger itself, the regulatory review is still underway. We were on a call with our CEO, Gary Smith, a couple days ago, and he said, well, it could happen earlier, or it could happen later, or it could happen right when we planned it. So he said a lot of it probably revolves around California, because they have sort of their own rhythm around regulatory compliance and reviews. So he said if we can get California nailed down, then we can get this thing nailed down pretty good. So it's still somewhat open, but there's been no challenges or anything's flagged. Nothing's really flagged so far. You may have seen a company that was out last week putting fence posts in right around that open area where we planted the palm trees. We have that temporary fence, which is really looking very disheveled at this point. They've been putting in some 8-foot posts there, and then they've continued to go down towards lemongrass. And Quentin is monitoring to see if that company, because we didn't see them yesterday, and I don't know if they're today or not, but Quentin's monitoring that. And if I need to reach back out to see what's going on, then I certainly will with Mike Moore, the county administrator. Small progress. It's baby steps. The the fence company has shared with us that they will be putting in all the posts first. And the existing fence as it is right now, as it looks right now, will stay up until they get all the posts in. And then when they come back with the fence itself is when they will take down existing fence. So we will see that temporary fence for a little bit longer. But they can't get this done soon enough, right? And then I wanted to invite Quentin up because Quentin's going to share about fire alarm testing. So we've shared over the last couple months that we've been putting in fire alarms in the villa, into the homes, in the 301, 501 building. So they're if they're not completed, they're very close to getting completed, and he has an update to share with you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
So last week, we ended up testing the 301 building with the new fire alarm upgrade. My staff, with the help of LNS, the company that's installing it, went into each unit to make sure the new devices that they installed were working. So that went smooth. We got it done probably 5 minutes on each floor. The gentleman just called me while I was in this meeting, met him out there. We should have the 501 building done this week, and we'll look at, I'll send something out to you 501 residents to let you know what day we'll be doing the 501 building. And that's testing the new devices that's being installed. On tomorrow, I'm having my annual fire and sprinkler testing done this week. So you probably see a bunch of Johnson Control guys running around 301 in the 501 building. Tomorrow, so what we have to do is test every fire alarm and every strobe lights in the community. So tomorrow at 10:30, we will be starting in the clubhouse, which means you're going to hear the horn, you're going to see the lights flashing for about 5 minutes in the clubhouse. Then we're going to move into the 501 building, then the 301 building, and also the care center. So I will send that memo out today, letting you know that's going to take place tomorrow. Just a lot of stuff going on with fire alarms. But that's an annual inspection that takes place every year here. And today, they are inside the units in the 501 and 301. In the 301 today, looking at the sprinkler heads in each unit. So that's where they are today. Any questions for me? All right, thank y'all.
Thanks, Quentin.
Oh, one more thing. Next week, we're going to be doing filter changes, starting in the 301 building throughout the property. We do it 4 times a year. We'll be starting next week, and I'll get that memo out also. Thank you.
Thank you, Quentin. And one other update that I don't have on the screen is elevators. So elevator in veranda units 33 to 39 did pass inspection a couple weeks ago. Thank goodness. So I've been getting questions, when are we going to do the next elevator? And we paused for a minute because we want to meet with the elevator company and sit down and talk, first of all, about the one that we had all the problems with, but then what is going to be different moving forward. So we certainly don't want the same experience for members that are going to be in the next elevators or that are in the verandas where the next elevator modernization is going to take place. So we want to make sure we have all the kinks worked out, that we have a commitment from them in terms of what the updates are going to look like, how frequently they're going to be, and we're looking at actually even doing an addendum to the agreement, so we might have some clauses in there if they don't reach certain milestones. So we'll notify you when that second one's going to take place. We're going to try to move through that as quickly as possible because we do want to keep moving forward with elevators, but we want to do it with an abundance of caution, so we don't have the same outcomes that we did in the first time with the first one. And with that, just a couple of reminders here. Mingle with Mike is going to be February 12th, so save the date. That'll be right here in the ballroom. And then on the 26th, we would have our second town hall of the year, which is going to be Thursday, February 26th, and that'll be at 10 o'clock right here in the ballroom. And with that, we'll see if does anybody have any questions? We're going to get you the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Just a comment, when you said the next meeting is Thursday, February 12th, you also mentioned that and we may be having the LCS visit on the 14th. That's a Saturday.
11th.
On the 11th.
Yeah, they'll be here on the 11th.
I said corrected.
Yeah.
Two questions, if I might, please, Michael. On the sales update, you indicated 6 active listings and 2 closings scheduled for February. Are the 2 closings among the 6 active, or?
No,
No.
No.
All right. So we currently have 8 units, 2 of which will close each month.
8 units, 2 have contracts and are scheduled to close in February.
And as to the dining, please, with the weekly menus, and I assume that's a composed meal?
No.
No, it's not.
No,
Okay.
no, it's going to be the same concept that we have now. We need to get that equipment in place for that, to be able to move forward with that composed component. Yeah.
And finally, since the menu is the same menu as Monday through Saturday, theoretically, if someone enjoys fantastically a Monday meal, he or she could have the same meal for 6 nights.
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
Okay, I think there's no other questions. Thank you very much. You all have a great day.